All right, welcome back to Modern Mondays on a Friday here at Guardian Games. Looks like we have Vinny Balistreri playing Bradley Brown. Vinny's on Hammertime and Bradley's on Red, White, Boom. I think there's some Boom Bust. I think there's some Crack the Earths. I think there's some Flagstones of Trokir hanging out in there. You know, Vinny's our resident SCG champion at this shop. Did you know that, Ian?
I did.
Yeah.
Vinny also knows that too.
Oh wow, we got a prismatic ending on the Sigarda's Aid. So it's prismatic ending. I think stock goes down a little bit, or gets a little. It's interesting how much of that you want to play versus March versus Solitude, but it is still very good at just dealing with a lot of these like one mana non-creature permanents that decks kind of rely on.
Yeah, March honestly really surprised me. I had very much underrated that card coming into spoiler season, and am pretty excited to see it doing well.
Yeah, I think March is interesting in the fact that it can get Urza's Saga before you can produce mana with it for just one, which is very strong. And okay, that's a Chalice on one. Pretty good against Hammertime. You can Urza's Saga can still fetch you your hammer, and you can still equip it with Pure Steel Paladin if you have enough 0 drop artifacts that are hanging out. And I know that since Luris is banned, that these hammer decks are playing Nettle Cyst and maybe some other higher CMC equipments. I'm not sure if Vinny has Caldra in the deck or Batterskull or Swords, but I know that there's definitely going to be a Nettle Cyst in there.
Thanks, Knickerbony. We're glad to be back.
Yeah, also shout out to Entity Wears Jorts, which is, do you know who that is?
No, but that's an amazing name.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite usernames I've seen, who subscribed. And yeah, it super helps us. We are doing some equipment upgrades, trying to dial everything in, but trying to get some, like quality streams. This is our test run tonight. It's a Monday on a Friday, but we should be back on Mondays doing the hot jams in modern games.
Yeah, our graphics and songs only recognize Monday as a valid day, so apologies in advance for that.
I think we're probably throwing people for a loop that are followers or subscribers, where they see like Portland Papers gone live, Modern Monday, like
must
what?
be a mistake.
Shit, I thought I didn't have to work tomorrow.
Well, if you're a real SCG grinder, do you chalice check Bradley? That's my question.
Oh, there we go. Got some graphics. All right, we're cleansing, wildfiring. We're ramping here. All right, it looks like this is going to be a challenging game for Vinny to win, but it's very possible, especially as sort of, it's a War and Peace. Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna get an
That's
equip.
not a Fire and Ice.
I'm near positive we're gonna get an equip here.
And we do have an Ink Moth. Okay. Equipping on Paladin, we're gonna gain some life and do some damage. War and Peace, usually you're seeing Fire and Ice if people are going to be playing a One of Sword or Feast and Famine. If you're playing more of a Stoneblade deck, Feast and Famine untaps you, makes you discard, but War and Peace, it's going to gain you life equal to the amount of cards in your hand and deal damage to an opponent with equal to the amount of cards in their hand. So used to see this way back in the day when like burn decks were more popular, but
I mean, red and white are very good colors for pitch elementals, so I can see the methodology here with War and Peace.
Pretty good against your red-white deck.
Feels very much chosen for the protection specifically. Vinny recognizing the grossness of the pillage.
Oh
on
yeah,
the sword.
that was I would call that some incidental damage. Its pillage wasn't brought in to blow up Sword of War and Peace, but it feels pretty good.
Oh my gosh, what is that full art card? That's amazing looking, whatever that is.
It looks like the sort of promo damnation, but like reversed colors to be white instead of
They
black.
put it in the lands. Chat, help. What is Vinny's full art card?
It's probably some secret lair that we just don't know about because we're old.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, Chalice on 0 and Chalice on 1. So I think we're just on infect damage, maybe Nettle Cyst, which will not be very large. This is, I thought that Hammer was just going to have a bit of a run of game number 1, but yeah, this is the Chalices turns out are very strong, especially when Hammer doesn't have that really fast turn 1 where they're spamming like Springleaf Drum plus Midnight Ornithopter plus Sigarda's Aid or another 1-drop. Bradley's in the tank over here.
I'm still just in the tank about that land. Alright, I'm getting over it. I'm letting it go.
Okay, got a Season's Pyromancer. Discarding a Boom Bust and a Modal Devil Face land.
Bradley's got blockers.
And drawing 2.
Bradley's got Growliths.
Season Pyromancer, a card I think that is going to has or will see pretty big uptick in price and playability. It's just a really great sort of middle of the game card when you've already used a lot of resources. And decks that were playing Luris couldn't play that card, and now you can.
Bradley executing some perfectly symmetrical land violence with Boom.
You give it and you take it.
But then you get, when it's a Flagstones, then you get afterwards.
So we got a Triumph for Bradley. I'm guessing that that's purely for purposes of being able to ending on 3.
I agree.
Speaking of 3, we get a
Vinny does not sound that excited about the Nettle Cyst.
Powerful Nettle Cyst. All right, Ian, can you give me player audio on my headphones? I don't have that currently. Oh, there we go. Got it. Thanks. We have a very, how would you pronounce that? Silith? Providing a ton of useful information in chat and says it's a full art version of Darksteel Citadel.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I've been saved. That is actually really cool looking.
All right. Oh man, we're getting some value here. Woo. Got a 4/4. Got a 4/4.
Wait, I think it's a 6/6 because of the Citadel.
Oh, right. Yeah, it is a 6/6. I missed that. You know what? The Citadel can't, well, I guess it can technically be boom busted, but
it would be a poor choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. we will not ask about the tokens. Everybody's tokens, we're glad they have them.
Is that a Digimon token? I think it is.
I don't know. We just decided we weren't going to check on it, Travis. But it is really cute.
Oh, let's get comfortable here.
Yeah.
Sitting back.
I don't know. Vinny, I feel like, is one to concede when the conceding's good.
I mean, I don't know how. I guess waiting for Bradley. Bradley draws a prismatic ending and then just doesn't play cards. That's how you're gonna do this.
He's got a lot of mana. Seems unlikely.
Vinny's making some smart blocks. Oh, okay. There we go. I feel like it was a little premature. I got comfortable too soon.
I think the Pyro's supposed to be dead here, but I don't think it's going to matter.
I think it's going to be a scoop. If it matters, we'll run
go out there.
Players are responsible for their own game states.
Okay, Vinny has a reality chip in hand. But
so Vinny can look at the top of his deck and play lands?
Vinny cannot play any cards, unfortunately. The jellyfish needs to hook onto somebody's wrist, Travis, to do anything. And there are no wrists to hook onto.
I guess you could equip up the jellyfish with your Nettle Cyst, but I think you're still dead on the attack.
Yeah. All right, we'll help the players out. Give him the old life total reset. All right, Vinny knows what he's got to fight here at this point. So, okay, looking at the thieving skydiver, Vinny, where are your things that destroy artifacts and/or enchantments?
Got any in there?
Where are your seal of cleansings, Vinny? Looks like we've got a couple torpor orbs. Vinny was coming ready for elementals tonight.
Yeah. I mean, there are elementals in Bradley's deck.
And Seasoned Pyromancer.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, Torpor Orb also a great pillage target, but still potentially worth bringing in. I mean, if Vinny can get like some early pressure, then the Torpor Orb can essentially keep Bradley off of the Fury to clear the board and stabilize.
Kind of interested in the Spell Pierces if I'm Vinny. Right, because you just lose to Chalice. That's what's going to happen. But if you build up, you're going to build up enough of a early board probably. So you're just going to want to. I don't know. I feel like if you don't have cards that are going to destroy artifacts, you want to have a game plan for it. And Spell Pierce seems fine.
I'm like kind of in agreement, and I have not played a ton of Hammertime, but I'm always hesitant in a deck like this that's so synergy driven to sideboard in just a ton of cards, because Vinny's on the play this match, and in some cases I feel like if you're on the play and you're playing a powerful deck, you don't want to kind of dumb it down too much and then end up just drawing a bunch of
100% agree with that, but I think Spell Pierce is a card you want in your deck, especially when you're on the play. And we have an injured player already on the battlefield.
Oh. It's Lillard time.
It's Hammer time.
Yeah.
That's
yes, elite technique. I'll let Travis take this one.
Am I still playing Jeskai in this meta? Yeah, well, I've been fooling around with a bunch of different stuff. My main deck these days is Murktide, but I've been on the Jeskai version, but I'm at like 3, 3, and 3 with like endings, bolts, and heats, and I'm playing one main deck Teferi, but it's mostly for sideboard package that has like Monastery Mentors, Teferis in them, Pass, Wear Tears. Recently, I've kind of just, since the banning, I've come to the conclusion that I still really like the white sideboard cards. Because sometimes you just want to side out of like all of your Darcys and a Murktide because people are bringing in a lot of graveyard hate. But I'm liking Fury in the main deck over like the Teferi right now. And then, so that's like my main deck that I play, and I have a fair amount of success with that. Usually end up with a winning record. But then I've fooled around with some Snapcaster list. I feel like that's going to be interesting. Don't have a solid list right now since it's so soon after Luris banning. But I like the Snapcaster March interaction a lot.
But Travis, what deck have you really been playing?
I played Neobrand for a couple events, and how
did it make you feel, Travis?
It made me feel really bad. I accomplished my goal, which I'd never done in Modern, is to win on turn 1 on the play, and that felt really good. And luckily, my opponent was also in great spirits. But then I did also lose to someone who like almost cried when they beat me after all I'd done was mulligan to 5 and then 4 and play a land, because it was the first match of Modern that they'd won in a year. So that felt, I mean, I was really happy for them, but it felt pretty bad. There's a lot of mulligan to 5s, hoping to draw 2 pieces that you need for your combo.
And what record did the Grizzle Father bless you with?
I think I had a 2-2 and a 0-4. It was pretty bad.
And that is why Neobrand is still legal in Modern, folks.
It's true. Yeah, there was many times where I drew like almost my whole deck, but then I'd have like 6 cards left, but I'd need something in the last 6, but also need to cast Manamorphose, and it was just lots of, it's not good. It's kind of a pile of trash that sometimes memes people.
Okay, we've completed sideboarding. I saw that Vinny did board out all 4 of his Memnites, I believe, here. So, you know, obviously going to make the fast starts a little bit slower, but Memnite particularly bad against an early Fury. So makes a degree of sense to me why we would take that out.
Yeah, Memnite's a pretty easy... I feel like that if you're not playing against a Ragavan deck, that tends to be the easiest flex slot that you have. Usually you're not equipping Memnite for the win. You're doing it on like an Inkmoth or like a Stoneforge or something. Yeah, so it's pretty easy cut. Chat, I also do want to play 4 Snapcasters, and I kind of think if you want to play 4 Snapcasters, Grixis might be the better way to go.
You guys are just really, there's like this boomer magic echo chamber of Snapcasters going on here.
Yeah, so Guardian Games, who is sponsoring us for this stream tonight and is going to sponsor us to do Modern Mondays. They do Modern FNMs that start at 7, 4 rounds of Modern, and they do Modern Mondays that also start at 7 for 4 rounds of Modern. It's a $6 entry. Prize payouts pretty good. It's based on record, not standing, which I like, and usually a lot of competitive players, and sometimes competitive players that bring fun janky decks.
Yeah, great atmosphere here. Highly recommend Guardian Games, as obviously I would, because we have made our home here.
Yeah, we made our home and a theme tune. I mean,
yes.
You made the theme tune with a friend. I wasn't part of that. All right, what do you think Stoneforge is going to get Nettlesist for, like, kind of value right here, or are we going to go for, like, hammer, sword? What are we after?
I'm just going for hammer. If I'm Vinny, like,
I'm Nettlesisting.
You've got the Sigarda's Aid out. Bradley didn't remove it turn 1. I mean, we could still get it taken out by Prismatic Ending here, but I'd, put Bradley to the test early.
I'm expecting to see a wear tear sometime that is going to hit both enchantment and artifact.
Okay. Right. Yeah, I think that would be a great... If Bradley has a wear tear, it's going to be great, especially getting like an Urza's Saga and a hammer always feels good.
I mean, I think that is a really strong reason to play red-white, is you, like, Fury's great. Like, no matter what you're doing, like, you're going to have Fury, which is really good, and then your sideboard cards are going to be amazing. Like, I think Wear Tear is one of the better sideboard cards, like, in Modern.
So I was kind of, I'll be honest, I was kind of expecting that Vinny had a second Sigarda's Aid. I'm a little surprised now, knowing what deck that he's playing against, that he's running out his Sigarda's Aids so early on. I'll have to talk to him after this and kind of see what his mindset was here, running out the Aid instead of potentially like a Springleaf Drum.
All right, we got a whole drum circle going on here.
Okay, drum past the turn. Vinny's sitting on hammer, a sword, and pure steel paladin in hand.
I think the reason why I liked getting Nettlesist over hammer was just the scenario that happened. That's a little bit results oriented, like looking at the situation, but I'm sure Bradley brought in plenty of enchantment removal plus prismatic ending in the main deck that I'm more interested in, like a value equipment that's going to be like a threat and then can equip to something else. But you know, it's these are all like hard decisions. There's not a right decision. Okay.
Yeah, my thought process, well, we'll leave it for later.
We got a Blood Moon, which, you know, it's going to kill the Saga. So basically it's like 3 mana Stone Rain the Saga. But with these drums out, it's not going to really hamper a ton of Vinny's mana.
So Vinny could have put the sword in on end step.
Huh.
Huh. I'm a little confused.
I too am confused.
So we only need one more artifact in play to get Pure Steel Paladin working. So it looks like we're going to run out the Paladin to start things off.
You can play the hammer and then equip.
I mean, you could play the sword and equip too. I mean, we could play them both, right? So might as well just play everything out, draw some cards.
You have to have 3 mana to cast the sword.
Oh,
here.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of the equip cost.
I already played land for turn, so we're on land and sword in Vinny's hand. Right.
So why, if you're in Vinny's situation, why would you play the hammer rather than the sword here? Maybe, okay, maybe that's why, because we're baiting the pillage.
Yeah, and also Bradley doesn't have white mana now, because Bradley Blood Mooned. That's pretty good. Okay, so now Vinny also has 1 white mana. Oh,
Yeah.
There's a Spell Pierce. A Spell Pierce actually would have been good if there was a creature out, but there's no way to pay for the blue right now.
Yeah,
I'm into casting this sword personally.
as am I.
Yeah. Oh, is that the new? What sword are we looking at there? Is that the
It's the black and red one.
No, is it? It's a new one, right? From
Correct.
yeah, I think it. Artifacts or planeswalkers? Is that what it hits? This is the first time I think I've actually seen it cast in like a modern game. That's a card. That's pretty good. I don't think you need to minus it now.
So
You might.
I believe it is Sword of Sinew and Steel. There we go. Chillith with the timely, helpful comment. Sword of Sinew and Steel, destroy a planeswalker and an artifact, which, I mean, both seem quite relevant here if you had a creature to swing with.
And there wasn't an ensnaring bridge.
I mean,
Feels kind of more of a commander card to me. But
yes. I'm mostly in agreement. This is going to be really tough for Vinny because even with something like an Ornithopter to get under the bridge, oh, he just can't equip unless he has a Sigarda's Aid that he can just have the equip happen on ETB because Karn is going to stop equipping.
yeah, Karn is pretty good against decks that have artifacts with activated abilities, it turns out.
Karn plus bridge is just kind of, I mean,
Oh,
we're probably in garbage time here. This just seems like such a rough matchup for what Vinny's trying to do.
Yeah, it's basically a deck that main decks answer like multiple answers to your strongest cards, and then has, yeah, that's pretty lights out there. All right. Well, we've got a lot of time left, so I'm gonna try to scout out another match.
All right, we'll be right back.